Okay, everyone, thanks for making the time. The whole purpose of these WebExes are to be able to deliver short, sharp pieces of information to you, 15 minutes high level of some of the bigger items that are currently in play and how our platform is being used. We'll then have a couple of questions around that we can unpack. But I just wanted to give everyone a sense of where the platform has moved to. The first quick example we're going to be taking you through is the new dashboard that we've launched. This has been a huge win for a major multi-level marketing company in the US. What you're seeing as I arrived here, this is actually the login screen. I'm going to open this up in incognito mode just so that you can see it in a slightly different view. But the whole idea is that as I arrive on this over here, this is now the new login area that you've got to log in on. We've iframed their login into the Europe dashboard. The first thing you're going to notice as I scroll down here is the completely different way you can make headings look, how you can make, use different fonts, your different button overlays, and how these all can be used in a number of different ways. But the best part about this is by just having logged in over here, through their login system, so not even a Europe login system, their login system, you will see I can access their HR program. There is the HR component. I can scroll down. I can see things like their volumes. This pulls out of their CRM, and we've iframed it even as far as things like their enrollment. It actually pulls up my scorecard. Now, because I'm not actually one of their employees, it's going to ask me to input my unique number. But for everybody else who actually goes through, they land up directly on this screen through the way we've set up the enrollment form. Shani would literally be able to enroll new individuals from here. Once again, a completely different form, all operating directly out of the Europe platform. Another nice version of what you're seeing over here is that the mobile phone view and the desktop view are completely different. You can set up different fonts, different banners, different images on the mobile phone view, where over here you're seeing it in a more desktop orientated view. I'll pull that up if anyone wants to have a bit of a demo on that near the end of the meeting here. But just be aware that your desktop view and design and banners can be completely separate to your mobile phone view. Another new area that has come in is this new grid, where before this, you will have known this table to be able to aggregate the journey interaction and the training and the overall communication. This grid is now the equivalent of an Excel spreadsheet with an ingest API. In other words, it is the ability, right now we're pulling their rep number from their HR system, their volumes from their CRM system, their commissions from their payroll, and their overall enrollments from their CRM system. So there is multiple APIs operating in one central grid here, all pulling live out of their systems. Now, this is going to be a theme for today's WebEx. The whole idea is that Europe now operates, you can plug and play other pieces of software into Europe in a seamless capacity. So this is a major global retailer called Kroger. If I go down over here, this is the new Europe Smart Link, as you'll be aware of. On the one side, I can immediately access the voucher redemption system of Kroger while handing over my information into that voucher redemption. But the area that I'm going to focus on today is a new piece of software we've recently integrated that allows us, in this case, to build almost the equivalent functionality of a journey. I can click Start here, pulls up my survey components in literally a matter of seconds. I can go through this entire survey in a seamless capacity, and however I answer this takes me down a different row. So normal workflow capabilities, a different way of having it interact on a Europe platform, and yet over here there are three pieces of independent software operating out of one smart link, yet all the data aggregates to one point. This was best seen for an example we did for Peter, who jumped on the call today. We are in the final throngs of closing a nice deal with Amazon USA and CrowdStrike. The whole idea is we wanted to create a fully interactive RSVP system. Here, the reps who invite the CEOs or CTOs of major companies can go on and pick the event that they want to operate or invite someone to. In this case, they might want to send a save the date or invite them to the summit or potentially send a 3-day reminder. In this scenario, I'm going to invite someone to the summit and get their details. You can see the RSVP system pulling through directly into the Europe platform. I'm going to end up saying I am attending the function. In that case, it asks me for my details. I fill in my information. You can see we can set mandatory fields of the information that we wanted to ascertain. As I go through the demo over here, you'll see how this information pulls through in the end. If I have allergies or not, asks me different question sets over here, and I will take a men's large shirt. Because it then ends up asking if I want to invite a guest or not. If I say yes, pulls up the guest criteria. Once again, if I say no, removes the guests from my criteria. All the way down to flight information. Do I require flight information? Yes. Then I capture my airport, my departing airport, my preferred airline, my frequent flyer number, my date of birth, everything for them to be able to manage this. I'm going to say no in this case, just so that system plays through. And lastly, if I was the guest that I'm bringing along, what their information may be. Where this comes together, though, is in the way we are aggregating our data and reports. You can see in the background here, here's all the reps, how many people they've invited, how full the conferences are. I can isolate different data sets by selecting different conferences. I can see who's accepted, declined. But most importantly, it gives me one central list on an event-by-event basis that they can be able to access and drive through. Just give me a moment. Let's pull up through over here. It's accessing my Siri. So I'll show you how this can operate in the sense that we wanted to give them an RSVP list that allowed them to isolate what they were looking for. If they were looking for something like all the travel information of people who said yes, by simply clicking the travel information, they're the people who needed travel information. People who asked for accommodation, there is immediately the data on hand of the people who require accommodation. Here are the people who require, who will be attending the events and what day and what, if they're attending dinner or lunch, all in one area, all one centralized view of the database. And yet I've got the easy ability to share this database to other people, or alternatively to download this in, a PDF, PowerPoint, Excel, you name it. And yet at any point I can isolate data filters saying I only want to see the people who said yes, and there is that information isolated. So there's a lot of functionality now coming in the way that we're aggregating the Europe software and some of the other pieces of software that we've integrated to in the background. Other quick examples of this are things like Lego. These are the various Lego packs that are currently available, but I can do a quick Lego questionnaire where on the one side there is a Lego game. I'm just going to quickly refresh this just so you can see it in its normal view, and it's a T's and C's. So that was a normal Europe journey playing within the Lego campaign and teaching people, about the different aspects of Lego that they can win. But more importantly, based on the age group, I might want to see what specials there are. Opens up this little questionnaire that we say we're looking for all the 5 to 6 year old products within Lego, and we want to specifically see their perk condition, and they're the products that they recommend for me. And I can literally tick and go through this, get price lists, even go as far as concluding the purchase, all from one centralized area with a range of different scratch and win components that can easily be plugged in. The whole idea really is that we are now becoming an area for multiple different pieces of software to operate in, and yet to still pull all that data into one centralized location. I think this is the best seen in one of the last two examples I'm going to quickly take you through. We've recently won the merchants and mercantile account, and basically for everyone online, a normal Europe journey would kick off. What would take place is as they go through the Europe journey in store, there's actually a poster I'll put on the dashboard that everyone can see. They printed these posters with short codes and USSD lines. As soon as the individual goes through that poster, this is currently, I think I'm on the call center dashboard. No, yes, I am. So I'm on the call center dashboard. Here is a normal dashboard as you would know a dashboard. But what you are noticing is the data arrives live of the people who've come in on that little questionnaire from store. As soon as we click open, it immediately opens up what information the journey delivered. In this case, company X, Gary's information, his contact details, what business he's from. The call center then carries on asking various questions. They're looking for an investment, a credit card, and a home loan as part of their application. I can scroll down, I can save this information. As soon as I save it, it builds these areas into this person's profile. But I can open an account, which opens up the Capitec software within the iframe. I can do credit applications, or I can push this to an outbound call center agent. As soon as I click outbound call center agent, it arrives on the sales staff or the personal bankers that are operating within Capitec. In this case, okay, there's none in the queue, but before, when there were ones in the queue, I could literally click on it and it immediately pulled up a Europe journey, which would pin my location, track my distance, have photos of documents done, even allow them to sign documentation. And all of that operates again within a Europe dashboard, giving equally the weekly trips, training, all of that information. But the ability to now pull in other pieces of software within the dashboard has made it a significant tool in the environments that it's playing. The last area I'll show that's just relevant to this is one of our new deploys that have just been rolled out with Hollard. We are running all of their CSI projects and really consolidating and in one view what is happening for them in the market with their facilitators. So what we are tracking for them to get their BE points, we've got to track the 12 facilitators on the road, where each of the sessions that they held training people on good financial literacy was, how many sessions the people have done, whether it was in a rural area, and show what their overall target is. They got to do 20,000 people over the course of the year. So this is tracking them against their overall target, and they score additional BE points if they have a 25% rural interaction. But what you'll see in these areas here is that we're not only tracking the session. In other words, when they arrive at when they get in their car, they've got to pin their location. When they get to the location, we pin them again, and we work out the distance that they've traveled. This immediately is overlaid versus their cost of their car, which then gives them a reading of what their reimbursements is and the value of that reimbursement. It calculates the hours they worked for their payroll and their commissions that they're currently getting, and keeps track of how they are performing towards their portion of the overall goal. It then equally aggregates that facilitator session so you can see how successful that particular facilitator is. So if I want to just look at facilitator 1 and how facilitator 1 is performing, I can immediately isolate facilitator 1's details. I can see that in their case, they've done all their work in rural areas. There was the location, and there was the feedback relating to how their sessions managed, the distance that they traveled, and yet I can overlay these data sets in a number of different ways with the new APIs that we are pulling in the back over here and the way we're leveraging our data. So you can track the facilitators, the date range, their income brackets, rural, non-rural, the sessions names. But we took it a couple of steps further. We built it into a full claims section as well, that every facilitator can literally see the claim. These link to every slip, so you can verify and audit a given slip at a given time versus what the overall spend was. And yet you can once again isolate this by facilitator, date range, to be able to make sure that you're comfortable with the overall result. And the last thing we did is we pulled in all of the calendars. Now, I'm not on this particular calendar, but they can see through our integration of Google all the calendars of these 12 people in one place. They can view it as a week or a month or a day. At any point they want to actually filter those calendars, a simple access of the overall group calendar allows them to do so. And yet all of this appearing in one central location. So really, I think that the key strong theme that has come in is that now with the ability of the iframes and the new API pull and pushes that have come into play, we've got the ability to get information out to both Europe, our smart links, and our dashboards into these very powerful custom-built reports, as you can see here. And we've got numerous versions of these reports. These are custom-built on a client-by-client basis. Here's one where we actually made the report look like a smart link from our customers, where you can see it operates the exact same way. How many people have downloaded their payslip this week? I want to see who those people were, how many of them actually accessed their payslip, and I can access the clicks or the users. In this case, I want to access the whole account, and there are those individuals all in one central area. So I think the theme is that if you come across a very powerful piece of software that fulfills a given need, things like calendar entries, reimbursements, claims, call center management programs, all of those are now being plug and played into Europe with the new type of capabilities that has come out and being able to be integrated in a very seamless capacity. So that's our quick 15-minute session for today. I will stop the recording at this point, just so that if there's any questions, this recording can be posted. But does anyone else, I'm going to have a quick question and answer session based on this now, if you want a little bit more information around that. Okay, any questions?
How quick's the turnaround time on the reporting tools like this?
Every one of those reports that you've been seeing have been built in 3 days, but it's 3 days that we knew were being planned. So as you know firsthand, Peter, we built to your Amazon report between Friday morning and mid-Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
That one that you just saw now that's running all the facilitators, because of all the plugins and the APIs that we've done in the background, they are very, very quick to build. But we've got to know what data the client is looking for and the best format to deliver that data. So that facilitated session that you just saw now, we met with that client earlier today, showed them that, and they gave us 10 or 15 little changes. But it's put us in a completely different billable range. They're not only now paying platform fees, they're paying, that was a 340,000 Rand project that we built in 5 days, start to finish, on top of their monthly platform fees that we're billing. So it has some really great commercial capabilities around it. Peter, see if anyone else has got any other questions there. For your call center agents, that live data appearing in the dashboard that they can pick up, access, edit,